Hello everyone and welcome to Tommy Talks Arsenal, where you've guessed it, Tommy talks Arsenal, Fantasy Premier League and everything in between. Thank you for joining me, I hope you enjoy the show, and without further ado, let's go!
Okay, here we are, it's game week 3. Arsenal made it 2 wins in 2 after beating Palace on Monday Night Football. I'm going to talk through that fixture before looking ahead to Fulham, and I'll finish by walking through my game week 3 bench boost selection. But first things first, let's talk about Palace. So, away from home against the Eagles was never going to be easy, and over the course of 90 minutes, it was a fairly even encounter. Talking through our starting 11, and the biggest surprise was the absence of Gabriel. Partey continued at right back, Tomiyasu stepped in for the injured Timber, and Saliba and White continued in the middle. Last week, I'd predicted that both Gabriel and Zinchenko would be starting against Palace, but both began on the bench. I assumed that Zinni wasn't quite ready, although an appearance from the bench suggests he isn't far away. Tactically, we set up in a 4-1-2-3 formation with Rice as the lone 6 and Partey inverting from the right. It did work well, and Rice had a man of the match performance. He was leading the way for expected assists, for forward passes under pressure, and for distance covered on the pitch. It was easily his best performance for Arsenal. He looked so assured on the ball and was a natural leader. His pass selection was also excellent, always progressing the play when possible, and yeah, like I said, no doubt about it, his most assured performance in the shirts of Arsenal. What a signing basically, and yeah, hopefully a sign of things to come. He's going to be a monster, isn't he? Really great player. Ahead of him in the 8s, we saw Havertz and Odegaard try to create havoc. Early in the game, Havertz created a great opportunity for Martinelli, where he really should have done better. He should have scored, at least tested the keeper. Saka was lively on the right, with both him and Martinelli holding the width, stretching the pitch quite a bit, but one concern would be the Havertz and Martinelli partnership, as it hasn't quite worked yet. I think they'll develop a better understanding, as it's still really early days, but against Joel Ward I expected a little bit more from Martinelli, to be honest. Again, Eddie Nketiah led the line for us, and to be fair to him, he did a really good job. He created a beautiful chance for himself early doors, turning sharply in the box and unfortunately hitting the post. A little bit later he tried a really delicate dink that just went over the bar. On another day he could have walked away with 2 goals. It was Eddie who eventually won us the penalty. A quick free kick awarded just outside the box was taken by Martinelli. Nketiah reached the ball and was brought down by an out-rushing Johnson. The main takeaway from that, rather than Saka taking the penalty, it was our captain Odegaard who stepped up. He didn't disappoint, dispatching coolly into the bottom corner. After the game, Arteta came out and actually confessed that he was surprised to see Odegaard taking it, but apparently Odegaard told Saka that he felt good and he wanted to take it, taking responsibility. To be fair, Odegaard looked really good on it. Saka's never looked comfortable as our penalty taker, and personally I was a lot happier seeing Odegaard take the ball off him, if I'll be honest with you. With Arsenal leading by 1-0, we were really in control, dominating the play and looked very comfortable. That all changed after the Tomiyasu red card, after 2 incredibly harsh yellows, the first for time wasting, where basically he was a victim of circumstance rather than an actual offender. And yeah, after that Palace fought hard at the end, making life quite difficult for us. The Arsenal defence still stood firm though, with Ramsdale rarely tested, and yeah, we made it through and walked away with a vital 3 points at the end of the day. All things considered, it was a good night's work for the Gunners. So that's my summary of the Palace game. We were far from our best, but what we did, we got the job done, and yeah, we walked away with a vital 3 points away from home. 6 from 6 in the league, Fulham up next, we're top of the table with City and Brighton, let's make it 9 out of 9, but first things first, we'll go and have a look at my predicted lineup against Fulham. Alright, let's go and do that then. Okay, so here we go with my Arsenal lineup prediction for game week 3 against Fulham. I expect Ramsdale to continue in goal. He hasn't done anything wrong, he's looked quite good, and I wouldn't see him drop into the bench for Raya just yet. At the risk of sounding like a broken record, I know what I'm saying, I expect a familiar looking back four with White on the right, Saliba and Gabriel in the middle, and Zinchenko returning to the left-hand role. After his cameo against Palace, Zinni should be ready for the first start of the season, in my opinion. With Timber and Tomiyasu both unavailable, Arteta is running out of options, although he could continue with Partey. The absence of Gabriel has obviously been a big surprise, but I'm expecting a start this weekend. He's got a good record against Fulham, and I'm backing him to punish his owners, the owners who've sold him, sorry. In midfield, Arteta has a bit of a decision to make. After an impressive performance from Rice in the lone six, I think he could do that role again against Fulham, with Partey dropping to the bench. Mitrovic is missing for Fulham, as we all know. He's gone to Saudi, and they've looked a bit toothless with Raul Jimenez in attack. We might use this fixture as an opportunity to bed in some players looking for minutes. So yeah, that's why I've made these selections ahead of Rice in the 6. I'm going for Odegaard on the right of the 8s and Trossard on the left. Now Havertz looked okay, but I think Trossard deserves some minutes, and this could be the week that he gets them. Saka and Martinelli are my picks on the wings. Martinelli for Trossard is still an option, so there's a little bit of risk, but I think he'll persevere with the Brazilian. Up top, I think Nketiah should continue. I'm actually predicting a goal for Eddie this week. He's looked sharp, he's looked an able deputy to the Brazilian Jesus, and how can you not love Eddie? Eddie's such a blooming fan favourite, I love him. Just get me that goal, Eddie. So that's my lineup for Fulham. We got Ramsdale in goal, White, Saliba, Gabriel and Zinchenko in defence, Rice as a lone 6, Saka and Martinelli on the wings, Trossard joins Odegaard in the 8s, with Eddie and Nketiah up front. My score prediction this weekend is 3-0 to the Arsenal, maintaining our perfect start, hopefully 9 points out of 9, and that's what I'm predicting this weekend in front of an excited Emirates crowd. So that's it, just one more thing for me to talk about, and that's my bench boost squad for game week 3, so let's go and have a look at that then. Alright. Right, here we go with my bench boost selection for game week 3. So far this season I'm having an absolute nightmare. I'm currently ranked around the 5 million mark. You could call this a knee jerk, you could call this crazy, but I've looked at the fixtures and I'm happy to attack them this weekend. In goal I have Pickford against Wolves. Everton have looked terrible, haven't they? They were wide open against Villa, but at home against Wolves I'm hoping they'll shore up defensively. God, they need to. Joining in from the bench is Turner. Man United for Forest away, so it's not a brilliant fixture, but yeah, it looks a lot better than it did a couple of weeks ago, with Forest actually playing some decent football. In defence I've got Chilwell and Gusto forming a Chelsea double up. Regardless of the struggles for Chelsea, the fixture against Luton looks decent. It's a bit of a punt, but I'm willing to give them a go. Estupiñán, Gabriel and Shaw complete my defence. They all look like they've got good fixtures with the possibility of returning a clean sheet. Gabriel obviously a bit of a problem, but hopefully he gets his first start this weekend. In midfield I have Fernandes, Foden, Martinelli, Saka and Eze coming off the bench. Going without Matoma and Mbeumo has been a nightmare this season, real rank killer, but hopefully that'll change this weekend. On paper, the fixtures look really great for my players. I'm particularly excited to own Foden after his standout performance against Newcastle. Pep Roulette is obviously an issue, but yeah, I'm not too worried this weekend. I think he's fairly safe. In my forward line, I've made a couple of additions to the team. I've brought in Jackson, I've brought in Alvarez, they join Haaland obviously. Haaland will remain my captain. I can't see it changing, he's just so reliable, and Sheffield United looks a plum fixture. With back-to-back one-pointers, Jackson has hardly found his scoring boots, but the Luton fixture looks really great. I'm willing to give him a chance, and hopefully he'll gain some confidence by getting a couple of goals. Alvarez joins them in attack obviously, his pedigree is known, he's got the goals in his locker, he's a really exciting player, and with minutes looking safe, I'm really excited by Alvarez. So that's my game week 3 lineup. I've taken a -8 to get there. It's full of risks, it's full of vibes, it could probably end in tears. Join me next week to find out if it does. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, please. And yeah, good luck everyone. See you next week. Onwards and upwards. Alright, let's go.